Determining the reactivity and titer for serum using a Haemagglutination assay. Agglutination is a reaction that takes place between soluble antibodies and particulate antigens. These can include cells or carrier molecules. Epitopes on the surface of the carrier allow an antibody to bind and cross-link the carrier together, leading to the formation of a complex lattice called an antigen-antibody complex. Haemagglutination is a specific form of agglutination where antibodies bind to red blood cells, which act as the particulate antigen. Red blood cells are useful targets as they're both readily available and the results can easily be seen by the naked eye. Serum samples are serially diluted and then placed into a 96-well U-bottom plate. A suspension of red blood cells, RBC cells, is then added. When antibody is present at a high concentration, binding to the red blood cells takes place, forming a large lattice. As this lattice settles by gravity, it conforms to the shape of the U-bottom plate. When viewed from above, a broad sheet of red blood cells is seen. This is a positive Haemagglutination reaction. When antibody levels are low, no lattice can form, and the red blood cells conform to the shape of the U-bottom plate and concentrate at the base, forming a small pellet. This is a negative Haemagglutination reaction. This diagram shows a positive reaction. The cells form a lattice. As they settle, they conform to the shape of the U-bottom plate on the left, and to the right we see the top view where a broad sheet of red blood cells is seen. If an intermediate amount of antibody is present, some lattice formation will be observed. Haemagglutination also allows for the reactivity of different serum samples to be tested against a known antigen. The titer of the serum sample can also be determined, the titer being the last dilution where a positive reaction was seen. Normally, the higher the antibody concentration in the serum sample, the higher the titer. This diagram shows a negative Haemagglutination reaction. Insufficient antibody is present to cross-link the red blood cells. As the cells settle by gravity, they slide down the side of the well, forming a tight pellet at the bottom. The diagram to the right shows the red blood cells when viewed from above. For this experiment, you will need one 96-well U-bottom plate. It is essential that a U-bottom plate is used, since flat bottom plates will not allow the cells to sediment into a pellet, making interpretation impossible. A pipette able to deliver 50 microliters. Test serum. A 1% suspension of RBC cells. And a one-time solution of veronal buffered saline. To each well of row A1 to A12, deliver 50 microliters of veronal buffered saline. This is used as your diluent. Now place 50 microliters of serum into well A1. This is your first 1:2 dilution. Using the pipette, ensure the serum sample is thoroughly mixed. Once mixed, remove 50 microliters from well A1 and transfer to well A2. This is your second 1:2 dilution, giving you a dilution of 4-fold. Continue this dilution series using wells 3 through to 11. Do not place any serum into well 12 as this is your veronal buffered saline negative control. Now take your 1% suspension of RBC cells, which has been thoroughly mixed, and transfer 50 microliters into well A1 through to well A12. Once the cells have been added, cover the plate and gently tap the plate to ensure that the samples and the cells are mixed. Now incubate at 37 degrees for 60 minutes. A humidified incubator is appropriate. During the 60-minute incubation period, antigen-antibody interactions will take place and the cells will begin to settle. The video footage you are viewing is a time-lapse photography of the entire 60-minute period. This is a close-up of wells 5 through to 10. We have already examined well 12, which was your VBS control. In this well, the cells had formed a tight pellet, indicating that the assay had functioned appropriately. Wells 5 and 6 are examples of positive hemagglutination. Well 7 is an example of an intermediate agglutination result, while wells 8, 9 and 10 are negative for hemagglutination. Based on this result, the titer would be determined based on the dilution for well 7, as this was the last well where a positive reaction was observed.